Top 5 losers of the offseason. Losers is a strong word, and it's a good word for these teams. Let's start at number 5. So we'll go 5 to 1, 1 being the biggest loser. At number 5, I have the San Francisco Giants. Look, the Giants were all in this offseason. So they're not here for lack of trying. They're certainly not here for lack of trying. They were all in on pretty much everybody. Aaron Judge, nope, didn't get him. They wound up with Arson Judge in terms of what John Heyman said. Didn't get Aaron, got Arson. Carlos Correa, they got him, and then they didn't get him. So they had all this money. They had $300 of millions of dollars going to everybody, and then after everything, they wound up with Michael Conforto. And not that Michael Conforto is a bad baseball player, but when you're a Giants fan and you're looking at this team and you're looking at the offseason and you're thinking, we're going to get Aaron Judge or Carlos Correa or some huge name, and then you wind up with Michael Conforto, it's not a success of an offseason.
No, and they lost a lot of guys, including your favorite pitcher on the market, Carlos Rodon. So it's tough. It's a big, like, your excitement's up, your balloon's inflated, and then when you lose out on the big guys like you just mentioned with Judge and Correa, it's like someone just took a needle, boom.
Well said. Their balloon was inflated, and then it was inflated.
I mean, they did add Haniger, Stripling, Manaea. So there are guys that they did add, but it's not as
right. So it's kind
it's
of
not it's not as big.
They added names. They're not big names, and it also the reason they're here is just the lack of the anticipation. And then the huge letdown.
Well, there was a celebration, and then it was, psych.
True.
Not happening.
Number 4 on my list, the Detroit Tigers, an organization very, very near and dear to my heart. We've been hearing for 4 years now that things are turning around. They're on the come up. Things are about to happen. And then Torkelson and Riley Green come up, and then it's just letdown after letdown. Riley Green ends up injured right before the season, doesn't break camp with the team. Torkelson wasn't great when he was first up, came back up at the end of the year and was pretty good. And then this offseason, and look what Matt Boyd, Michael Lorenzen, you signed 2 starters, and then you get rid of arguably your best relief option. Joe Jimenez, former teammate of mine, and Gregory Soto. I don't know. I've become frustrated with the direction the Tigers are going. I want them to be good. I want them to surround Green and Torkelson and Skubal and Manning and Mize with elite talent. And it's just not happening. They went all in. They got Javi Baez, and that hasn't looked good so far. So I don't know. You sign 2 starters, you get rid of your 2 best relievers. It's like, okay, we're in. Okay, but we're not all the way in. We're kind of out. It's like, what? Pick a side, Pick a side, go with it, go all in. Why not? But they're here at number 4 on my list. Let's move on to number 3. I have the Baltimore Orioles at number 3. They made a couple moves this offseason, right? But after stunning the baseball world last year, stunning everybody with 83 wins, they finished above 500. They didn't finish last place in a great AL East with a bunch of good teams, and they were in the playoff hunt until the last weekend of the season. And now you're talking about, okay, this Orioles team is ahead of schedule. You have Gunnar Henderson come up. You have Adley Rutschman come up, who is unbelievable. You have all these pitchers. You have Grayson Rodriguez, who's going to be a stud major leaguer. We have all the writings on the wall. Our young guys, our young guns are here. They're performing. They're ready. And we overdid expectations last year. What are we going to do in this offseason? It's so exciting. And, I mean, nothing, really. Nothing that jumps off the paper. I mean, they got Cole Irvin the other day. Am I jumping for joy at the Orioles getting Cole Irvin? No. Am I jumping for joy of them getting Adam Frazier? No, I'm not. So what did they do to really bolster that 83-win team and continue going in the right direction? I don't know. I wish they had done more. And their GM said this. After their 83-win season in 2022, their GM, Mike Elias, teased the possibility of the franchise opening its purse by saying, "We are going to have the flexibility to invest in the Major League payroll in a different way than I have done since I've been here." That's heading into this offseason. Well, we're waiting.
I mean, they have
Everybody's gone.
They have a lot of young talent. As you mentioned, they are ahead of schedule in this rebuild by a couple years. As you mentioned, they shocked the baseball world, all of us, I think. They have one of the most exciting young talent. Maybe they wait and see how the start of the season goes and then make some trades before the deadline. Pick someone up.
It's just they're not here for me saying, wow, they're not going to be good. I am very, very high on the Orioles and the future of the Baltimore Orioles, and I wish they had just taken this time to buy in a little quicker and to tell these young guys, we believe in you. We're going to start this year with the full expectation of making the playoffs and going for it. And I don't think they did that. I don't think they did that. So that's why they're on this list.
All right.
At number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oof.
Well, they didn't do hardly anything. Listen to the names they lost, okay? You lose Trey Turner, Cody Bellinger, Andrew Heaney, Tyler Anderson, Joey Gallo, Craig Kimbrell, Tommy Kahnle, Chris Martin. A lot of names out the door. Big time producers, by the way. And Turner, Heaney, Anderson. Still, Bellinger was playing pretty much every day. And they added Noah Syndergaard and JD Martinez. I like JD Martinez. Great signing for the money that they signed him for. But compared to all the production going out the door, what are we doing here? And you can sit here and say that, yeah, they're all in for the next offseason and they're all in for Shohei. Look, as of right now, what they did this offseason was a lack of much of anything, and they watched the San Diego Padres pass them for the team that I believe is the best team in the NOS. Not to say the Dodgers aren't good, not to say the Dodgers might not win the NOS because they are extremely talented and will still probably win around 100 games. They are that good. But they didn't get better this offseason. They got worse than they were last year, and they watched their division rival get exponentially better. And for that reason, they're here at number 2.
Not only division rival, but the team that knocked them out of the postseason in their first round. So,
True.
I mean, the Dodgers always have something up their sleeve. They always seem to be one of the best regular season teams. I don't see it right now, what they're doing. I don't have the vision. I hope it pans out as a fan the way it always does for them. But there has to be something that we're not seeing.
Yep.
There has to be something that we don't know yet.
Yep. But as of right now, they're number 2 on my list. And that leaves number 1 on my list of the top 5 biggest loser this offseason. And I want to put emphasis on loser because this team and organization is just pissing me off. The Oakland A's, number 1. What are you doing? You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing the fan base. They're embarrassing the organization. They're embarrassing the players. And they're embarrassing the game of baseball. What are you doing? They trade Sean Murphy. They're the best player on their team. They didn't get enough for him. And I've said this before, it doesn't matter what they got for him because they've been doing this for years now. They'll acquire talent. They'll trade away their best players before they have to pay them to acquire good young talent. And then if any of them pan out, they'll trade them again for good young talent before they have to pay the other guys. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's an absolute joke what is going on. It just is. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe they want to move, maybe not. Maybe they're just not happy they can't build the stadium that they want. I don't care. It's a joke. It's sad. And as a fan of the game of baseball, what has been going on in Oakland, which is one of the best playoff atmospheres that I have ever experienced. Oakland is incredible, an incredible atmosphere. And the fact that this fan base has had to endure what they continue to have to endure is just sad and sucks, and they're number 1 on the list.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just stuck in their old Moneyball ways, but it just feels almost like a minor league like farm system here. It's like, here, we'll get the guys, we'll grow them, and then when they're ready to like make
we'll
that
ship
big,
them out.
Yeah, we're going to ship them off, we're going to ship them out. And let me tell you, because I've worked a couple opening days at Oakland, and opening day, the first day, the stadium's packed. They come with all their instruments in the outfield.
So
like,
great.
it is wild. It is electric. Game 2, 3, 4, rest of the season, it is crazy how empty that stadium is.
It's sad.
Less people in the stands than minor league games. Like, it is crazy. It's sad.
It is.
They deserve more.
It's sad. And it might have been last year. I did my top playoff atmospheres, and I had Oakland at number 1.
Whoa.
And after I did that, I was talking to Justin about his top, like where he would have and what his top playoff atmosphere was, and he said Oakland. He said Oakland's right there in the top 2. He said it was the loudest. He told me a story that he was sitting right next to, I want to say it was Prince Fielder.
Okay.
I forget who exactly it was, but they were on the bench in the Oakland Coliseum and having a conversation sitting right next to each other and yelling, and they couldn't hear each other.
Yeah.
They legitimately could not hear each other. That's how loud it was. So I don't know the direction they're going. The Oakland A's payroll 2 decades ago, 2002, 2 decades ago, was $39.7 million. The Oakland A's payroll last year, $29.3 million. $10 million less than it was 2 decades ago. So we can sit here and say they're running their organization similar to the Moneyball days. Sure, they were investing more then and they were winning. So they were doing it they were like what the Oakland A or what the Tampa Rays are doing now before then. But it was down to a science. Now it's not a science. It's just they're being cheap.
It's just crazy because their entire payroll is what some of the top players make in a year.
Oh, my God.
It's
my brother's
insane. More than that.
A lot more than their entire payroll was last year. And
in a season.
Probably 10-plus players. It's insane. Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin' Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.